Now, the title on this CD is Halloween horror music. But when you look it up, it's called Fright Nite Fangtastic Party CD. And I kind of get the sense with this one that's similar to the Korn music, Korn with a K instead of a C, that this is horror based on ideas that are founded in childhood. Now, certain reactions and certain tastes can develop well into adulthood, but this is very specific and honest about that. It has the sense of those B horror films, as they're called, but the ones in the 80s and 90s weren't nearly as high tech as the ones later than that, especially the lower budget ones. But some of the lower budget ones can be even more moving than the just, some jump scare stuff like the Jurassic Park movies. A lot of jump scares and that sort of thing. The prelude is something along the lines of curiosity, whether exploration, the mood is being set. The Halloween park, parks and in public have a lot of danger for a lot of kids, particularly in America and other countries in the West. But it has a sense of like something's out there to get them, and it's not necessarily like the gangs and stuff. And the screams and that sort of stuff are more varied on this CD than the previous ones, and a touch more believable. Although, sometimes you have to, get exposed to the behavior of a certain kid to know which screams are the fake ones and the serious ones. I lived near a playground, well, a preschool, and if you opened a window, so yeah, you learn to recognize, something's wrong, and then occasionally, some kid would get hurt, and then you'd hear that, and that would sound totally different. But only if you're paying attention. Well, I mean, only if you like remember or whatever. There was a fence we couldn't see in there, but Fall to Pieces captures a sense of torture, a sense of falling or being forcibly exposed to some sort of mystery, something occult. Dark Forest is semi-wilderness, I guess, but it's more like the village sort of sound, but it's not so much of what you think like the dark forest of Russia or Germany or something like that. It doesn't quite give you that feel about it, but it's like yeah, it's that you don't know what's going on, but it's like there's something supernatural or alien. Because certainly, if you've seen like what was that Whitley Strieber based movie, especially back when it was out, yeah, that could be a moving movie, even if you don't think you've been abducted or traumatized in some relevant way. Slaughterhouse does get into the whole slasher sort of film music basis, but it could be done better. It does kind of get the idea. Well, you cross the line, you kill animals, particularly when it's a secular behavior. Well, I mean, especially when it's a secular behavior or some unprincipled behavior, other than you just need to make an offering or something. Like no rules to the offering, which pretty much doesn't exist in religion. But a Chamber of Fear, some of the monster puppet movies, some of the Nickelodeon stuff kind of got into this area that in some of the films there'd be like this thing and it's like it knows your fear and it's all you're driving what's going on, like the suffering of the whole thing. And witches villages, yeah, whether there's familiar animals of one sort or another, or whatever the deal is with that sort of stuff, um it's not what we're really uh going to think about when we think about witches. And well, I mean, it could be what a person thinks about when they think about witches, but um yeah, it's more of the stereotype. We're sitting around a cauldron and oh, I don't think they do that laugh. um but yeah, but we all have fears, and sometimes it's good to explore them, but know what you're doing with that stuff. And of course, with children, don't fill your kids with a bunch of horror films, especially if they're under 7, if you can't direct it, that sort of thing, because they're like going to not know what's real. Or they see you watching a film and like they're going to have nightmares for weeks, and you didn't know they snuck out to see you at 11 p.m. or 1 a.m. or whenever you're watching the movie.